Mud here. Lovely Jamaica evening. Middle of January. We've been working here building a pizza oven. And tonight, because we've been building a pizza oven, we're gonna have pizza. Got a chimney going up there. We stuck a little ceramic wool and stainless steel in the middle of that, make it draw better from last time. Little fire brick we took down in our luggage down here, make it easier to slide the pizza in and out. Rebuilt this rocket heater. It's sort of going. It's still drying, so it tends to die down to coals, but that's actually kind of okay because we just barely want this warm. We're going to use that one to cook pizza for our gluten intolerant friends. The neighbors have some nice reggae music going. Everybody's over planting a garden at Marcus's house. And that sounds like it's going really, really nice. While they're doing that, I'm getting the pizza ready so we can have something tasty when they get back. Now, it's been hard to find yeast here. We actually brought cheese down with us because you can't find cheese here. You can find cheese-like product, and it's very expensive. And for a lot less than that, I just brought a huge block of cheese from Ohio, Amish cheese from the place right next door to me, and that's gonna bubble up nicely on our pizza. We put a little bit of a roof over our oven. It did pretty well being out in the weather, but we're gonna try to give it a little bit of cover there. The funny thing, we had to figure out what to do about this because apparently the spot at the top of the chimney is a very, very favorite place to cook here. People will fire up the oven and they'll roast yam in the oven, and then they will put a pot on top of the chimney to cook their soup while the yam is roasting. I think that's very efficient. And when we went to put the roof on, because Sandra will actually climb up here and climb all the way up there and put her pot up there. And she said, "Don't put it in the way of my pot, because I'll just take off your roof when you leave." So we got that going. Oh, here our rocket cooker is working much better. No smoke, that's what we like. Warming up our tray. Warming up our pan that's going to be our oven for our gluten-free people. So, while it's quiet, while we can see because it's not quite dark and it's not too awful bright and sunny, I'll give you a little tour. While we were here, we created a little outdoor compost toilet situation. We got a kind of a shower stall here, but we've got our toilet here inside the shower. I don't actually want to be like poking around with what's in there and all that, but toilet seats are about $40 to $70 here at the hardware store, so we made one out of the lid of the bucket. And when you use this thing, you do your business and you cover it with a little bit of dirt or fluff. This is our dirt we pour on top of our deposit in there so that the bugs can't get to it, so the flies can't get to it, and so that it doesn't smell. And then we'll dump this in the compost pile over there. I'll show you that in a minute. We got this little spot for our toilet paper under an old bucket that doesn't work anymore. And then for privacy, we made a little button. Interesting. We had to bring screws down in our luggage because it's very hard to find them here. And when you do, they're very expensive. That's one of the things that's been fascinating about being here, is that so many things that maybe it costs $5 in the States, and I can run up to my corner hardware and grab it. And here, it costs $10, and people here make, maybe a tenth of what I would in a day. But it still costs twice as much to get something, and you got to go all the way down to the coast to get it. So you take a day off and you go out to the hardware, and you got to pay $70 for a taxi ride both ways. So this is the bathhouse that we were working on. We've been building up these little walls here because the limestone kind of just shows right through all the soil, what there is of it. So we just take some of those stones and pile them up and kind of put the dirt in one place so that we can grow things. I think we're going to be growing carrots right here. And that'll be actually coming from the water in the sink inside of this bathhouse. The bathhouse is made out of limestone, a little bit of cement mortar, and bottles. We did this last year. We got a little place we'll close in for a sink here, and that I'll have a pipe coming in from up there, and the drain will come in and run out into our carrot garden. So hopefully nobody uses any real toxic soaps. Right in here we got a little nook where you can sit on the throne. We'll have a composting toilet in there, and then in here's another nook. We've just got them piled full of bottles right now. We just get these by the side of the road because there's no trash service here. We'll get these bottles and we'll mortar them up on the wall. Some of them we've been cutting in half and taping together so that the light will come through them. It's kind of cool. You can put a brown one and a clear one together, and then you get kind of a pale brown or a pale green, or you put two greens together, you get a dark green. We'll come around here, and we're building a little rocket heater. And that's going to have a 50-gallon drum on top of it with a little spigot to heat the water in the tub. And we thought about putting a fire under the tub, but it's a little hard to control the temperature on. And we'd have to put it way up high to get a decent chimney underneath to have it be efficient and clean. So we'll eventually pile rocks up behind here, make a little flower garden, build up our little garden back here, and then have another garden coming out, and the water drains out of the bottom of the tub, and there's a little planter that'll come along here to be fed by the tub. Over here we got our compost pile for our composting toilet, and we got a pile next to it of chopped grasses and such that we just dump down over. So this has already got several loads from the compost toilet in there, but we cover it up with a bunch of carbon matter, and then it doesn't smell, and we put this up around it so the dogs can't get into it, and it'll cook in there and get nice and hot and kill all the pathogens and turn into really good soil, which we really need around here. There's not much soil in a lot of this place. This is where we've been sifting sand out of the limestone of the cliff. I've been gathering some firewood here for when we fire up that rocket tomorrow. Right now I'm more focusing on firing up the pizza oven because I want pizza. This down here is where we've been mixing the cob. We've been soaking the clay, some of it for a year. It's really interesting the clay here is so granular, so packed, that it feels like it has sand in it, but if you soak it for long enough, you discover that it's all just very slippery clay, which is nice freezing as clay, but it's not so nice if it crumbles later to dust because you didn't soak it long enough. So we soak it and mix it with the sifted sand that we get out of the hillside, and we mix it with some of that chopped grass. And it's a pretty strong grass here. We don't have, it would have been really handy to be able to get like straw like we can up north, but we go out in the field and chop this really strong grass and then beat it up, mixing it up, and use that for our cob. Oh, there's Sandra coming with our tomatoes and salt. All right.
And you changed.
And change. We got change too. That's lovely.
Okay, so that's a $50 pack of salt with tomatoes.
Excellent. And we got some tomatoes to make our pizza sauce.
Yes. Okay, so we'll be there shortly. So
wonderful. Thank you. And I'll show you. Well, last times we were here, we worked on these little. This doesn't like to focus, but let's try to get it to focus. There we go. Worked on bottle walls, and let's see if I can get a good view of that from in here. Here we go. See, when they pour these concrete walls, they tend to pour an arch, but getting a door custom fit for an arch gets very expensive. Nobody's got that kind of money here, so we just wait and wait and wait with plywood nailed over it. So this might be hard to see because of the impending gloom of the evening, but this is one we made 2 years ago, a bottle window that was finished up by our local mason after we left. Turns out really nice. Those arched windows can be $1,000 to order to bring in here, and so people just wait a long time with no window or plywood. But these square windows can be made for about $10 in materials, about half a day's labor. And they open and they're really nice, but they've got this arch to deal with from the way the concrete is poured. So we did brown bottles and clear bottles. See, to give you a better idea here. And green bottles give us a little tree of life. I'll shut the light out, see if I can get it to shine through. There we go. That's sort of working. Let's see that a little bit. Probably should have come a little earlier today. The different kinds of bottles, vodka bottles, rum bottles, Heinekens are the green ones. The brown ones are Red Stripe, which is a local favorite. Yeah, really good stuff. Well, let's get our tomatoes and go and finish up making some dinner. I love this wall of the cliff. I'm trying to get her to incorporate that into the house when she expands the house over this way. I think that'd be a great wall of a bathroom. So tomorrow we finish up here and head over to Alva to look at an earth ship that they want help rebuilding or finishing building. Maybe we'll do it in Cobb. That'd be pretty lovely. And Then we head in the grill for a bit before we head out.